Hi there, I'm Lauren and welcome back to my YouTube channel Sweet Smiling Soul, where I talk about all things sewing. Today I am going to create a cover for my Papasan chair. So I recently purchased a Papasan chair secondhand on Facebook Marketplace, and I just can't stop thinking about a patchwork cover. So I thought it would be a really good way for me to use up my fabric scraps, use what I have in my stash already, and put something together to create a cover for this cushion. So that's what we're going to focus on today. If you like to sew, if you are the crafty type, or if you just like watching creatives on the internet make things, then this channel is for you. I invite you to subscribe, and if you like this video, share it with a crafty friend and let me know your thoughts on the final project in the comments below. Let's get into it. So this is the Papasan chair. I've just been using it with this blanket that I made a few years back sitting on top because my intention was to put a cover on this. So it came with this cushion as well, so I might even make a cushion cover for that too. So if we just remove this blanket, it's grey, and what's interesting is that the back has a zipper, but you can't actually remove this because it's been attached with these little kind of button things, whatever you call them. Yeah, I can't actually remove this and wash it, so I think it's better that I make a cover for this and something that I like that I can remove and wash and yeah, kind of make it look a little bit more interesting as well. So that's my plan for that. I do have some colours in this rug that I'm going to use as inspiration. I'm also going to use some of the colours that are in this throw that I made a few years back. So there's this mustard colour, but it's also in the rug, you can see, and it's also in this Bali artwork. You know, I'm kind of just looking at colours that are already in this room, and I'm gonna try and incorporate them into the patchwork for this chair. If we're just looking at the rug over here, there's a few more colours. We've got like a navy blue, a mustard, like a pink colour, like a burnt orange colour or a terracotta colour as well. There's like a light blue and beige, and like I have this plant hanger over here that is a rust colour or terracotta colour. I'm just going to take the colours that are in this room already and use those colours to create a patchwork cover for the Papasan chair. And I'll be happy if I don't have to use this anymore because I'd prefer it to be used as a blanket, like on top of me. I don't want to be like sitting on it. I think it's better that I make a cover for this chair. So I'm just going to measure it. I would say it's like roughly 120 centimeters, but I'm going to give myself seam allowance obviously, and I don't mind if it looks a little bit oversized. So I'm probably going to aim to create like a large patchwork piece that's 125 centimeters by 125. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just create panels and create the patchwork, and then I'll plump this on top and then draw a circle around it, cut it out, and then sew it together. That's the plan. I'm going to create like an envelope cushion cover. So on the front I'll have like a mixture of different patchwork pieces, and then on the back I think I'll just use these two fabrics because I have a lot of this fabric. I'm not sure why, but I purchased it in Munich like in 2018 or 19 when I was living there, and for some reason I bought like so much and I don't love it. Like it's alright, but it's just one of those fabrics that stayed in my stash for a long time because I just haven't known what to do with it, and it wasn't like jumping out at me. So I thought maybe that would be a good use of this fabric. I might even put this on the whole back of it, like yeah, because it looks like there's enough. So I really just need two pieces that kind of overlap a little bit to create that envelope casing and make sure that I make the opening big enough so that the cushion can easily go inside, and then I might just create some ties at the back in the middle to tie it all together. So yeah, I might use that for the back. It's like a cotton and linen material. These are the fabrics that I'm going to use for the patchwork. So like I said, I'm just pulling inspiration from the rug in my living room and some of the other decorative things that are in there. So I think these colors should work okay. So I've got like a terracotta color. I've got a terracotta but in gingham. I've got a lot of this fabric, so I might use that. I've got some mustard, a pinky colour. I've got this tie-dye fabric here, and I thought to have something floral in there. I have this, and there's a bit of mustard and green, and I have those colours on the throw that is on the couch, so I think this could work. Then I've got some navy blue and white gingham. I've got more navy blue because there is some navy blue in the rug. Then I have some more yellow or mustardy colour, and then these are like furniture fabrics that I've had in my stash for ages. This is kind of like it feels a little bit similar to corduroy, but it's kind of got like it's like a shiny back and then like a soft texture on the front. I think it was originally cut out to be like a cushion cover, and I don't know how this came into my stash. Like, I didn't buy this, I think it was given to me. So yeah, I've had it for a long time and I've got a lot of it. I've got like 2 more pieces like that same size, so I'll try and incorporate that where I can. And then I've got like this mustardy kind of furniture fabric again. I don't really know what this is. I think it'll work, and yeah, I need to get rid of it. So that's going in there, and then I've just got more of that aqua or turquoise colour, but I don't think I'm gonna use all of that. I also have this blue linen as well, and that reminds me of the blue that's in the rug. So yeah, I think I've got a lot to work with. I think I'll definitely be able to make a patchwork that's 125 centimeters by 125, and I want to give myself more, like I said, to make sure that I've got enough to work with. So I'll just create a large piece, and then whatever scraps I have left over, I can just use them for something else or use them as stuffing for another project. So that's the plan. I am now going to start working on the patchwork. So I have cut out most of the pieces, and I've done 3 panels at this point. I think I'm gonna need to make another one about the same width. So for now, I'm just going to attach what I've got already, sew each piece together, and then I'll see how big that piece is at the end, and then I'll add another panel just using some extra bits of fabric. I'll probably just use a couple of the pieces that are already in here and just cut out a second piece in that fabric and then create a 4th row. I'm going to start sewing and then we'll see how it looks. So I've sewn the panels together and I ended up making another strip just because it wasn't going to be big enough, and I'm going to place that in the middle, and I think I'm happy with this layout. I thought about turning this around or swapping it, so I've decided that this is the placement that I'm going with. Now I'm just going to pin everything together and I'm going to start sewing the panels together. Before I stitch the panels together, I'm just going to serge all the raw edges just to kind of make it neat and tidy and make sure that it's secure, because it's going to be, you know, getting a lot of bum traffic. So we need to make sure that it's sturdy and it's not going to like fall apart after some time. So I thought serging these sections might be a good idea. So it just makes it look a little bit more finished. So yeah, I'll do that to each piece and then I'll sew the panels together. So all the patches have been sewn together and I'm just testing to see if there's enough, and there is more than enough fabric. I really overestimated, but that's not a bad thing. What I'm going to do with like the excess fabric that's around the edge is I'll turn it into a cushion cover. So I might sew the scraps together and cover the cushion that came with it. So that's the plan there, but I think I'm ready to cut around the edge, and then I'll create the back pieces for the envelope opening so that the cushion can fit inside. And I'm really happy with how the patchwork turned out, so I'm excited to cut it out, sew it together and see how it all looks. So I've cut out my 2 back pieces, and now I'm going to take these 2 pieces to the ironing board and fold in the edges a couple of times and just stitch them down on both sides. And I still haven't decided yet if I'm going to create some ties to secure the opening closed, or if I'm just gonna let it be. Like, it might be that it has enough overlap where it doesn't open. I'm not sure, but if the cushion pokes out a little bit, then I might have to come up with a way to close it. So it's either going to be ties or buttons even, because I do have buttons, so maybe that's an idea. And then I'm also going to create 2 ties, one at the bottom and one at the top, like for the outside of the cushion cover, so that it can be attached to the chair. That's another thing that I'm thinking about. So these are just my thoughts, like as I kind of enter the next step of this project. But I think to start, I'm just gonna fold in these seams, stitch them down on both of these pieces, and then I'll think about how I'm going to create the closure, and then I'll sew it all together and go from there. So I've decided that I'm just gonna fold it over about 3 centimeters twice, and I'll see how that looks when I pin it back to the main fabric. But I think I will need some kind of closure because the overlap isn't that big. I probably could have made it bigger, but it's all right. It's done now. So I'm just going to press down 3 centimeters, then I'll do the same for the other piece as well. So I've decided to go with buttons, and I have 6 here, which I think should work, and they're quite large, so I will have to create like my own version of a buttonhole, because my buttonhole foot on my sewing machine only creates a buttonhole size, like I think 4 centimeters maybe. So yeah, it's not going to be big enough. So I think what I'm going to do now is just pin everything, sew it together, and then turn it right side out, check that the cushion fits, and fingers crossed it does. And then once that's done, I'll attach the buttons. So that's what I'm going to do next. Alrighty, so I have sewn around the edge and I've just pinned the opening in place for now, but I will take those pins out now, turn it right side out, and I'm going to test that the cushion fits. Okay, please, 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 please fit. Oh, I just realized I forgot to add the ties, like I said I was going to attach it to the chair. Haven't done that. Not sure if I will now. It's definitely not a perfect circle, but that's okay. We're not about perfect over here. So before I take it out of the cover, I'm just gonna have a peek to see if I like it. And I do. I think it's gonna look really effective in my lounge room. Super excited about this. Also, before I take the cushion out, I'm going to measure where I want the buttons. So I've got 4 buttons here, and I think I'm sticking with 4. Just see, I'm just gonna play around here and decide what I really want. I think 5 will do it. I'm just eyeballing where I want them at the moment, but I will probably have to measure. So if we say like roughly 15 centimeters up from the edge is the first button, and same again on this side. Put that there. Then this is kind of in the middle, this is in the middle of that, and this is in the middle of that. Okay, that'll do. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So now I'll draw a line on the top layer of fabric because the button will be attached to the bottom and then it'll come through the hole. That makes sense. So yeah, if I just move that to the side, and actually I do need my ruler because I have to measure how big the buttonhole should be because all these buttons are a little bit different in size. So, oh, I thought they were like 5 centimeters big, but they're actually only 3.5. So 3.5, I probably need like a 4 centimeter buttonhole for that. So because these buttons are so big, I will just have to do like a makeshift buttonhole. Like normally I'll use my buttonhole foot on my sewing machine, but it doesn't cater for buttons this big. So like I'll use my sewing machine, but I'll just like create like a rectangle for me to cut out so the button can fit through. So I've got one there, and I'm just going to do the same for the rest. So now I'll take the cushion out and I'll finish the edges with the serger, and then I'll also create the buttonholes, and then I'll sew the buttons on. So I've finished sewing on the buttons, and I'm really happy that I went with the buttons. So I've got 5 chunky buttons on there, and I didn't really have another project for those, so I'm really happy that I was able to use them. Now I'm going to put the cushion inside the cover, and then I'm going to put it on my Papasan chair, and I'm going to show you how it all looks. We have the cushion here, and we have the front of the cushion, and I am going to place it on the chair, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think this is perfect. Let's test it out. Yes, so good. I am really, really happy with this. I love that it's got a bit of color on it now, and yeah, it makes it so much more special, you know. It's really good. I'm really happy. So now I am just gonna have a bit of a nap, and I'll think about the cushion that came with this a little bit later. I think I might use some of the scraps that I had to cut off around the patchwork piece. I might use those for the cushion, but I think this is enough for today. I'm happy with how it's turned out, and it's super comfortable. This is just such a great chair. And yeah, it just makes it pop, you know? That's it. I'm just so happy. Patchwork designs make me really happy. I love putting them together. I love using what I have, and yeah, it just feels really good having this new cover on the cushion. So because there's so much happening, I don't know if it needs like a decorative pillow or anything on it. I think it's quite bold already. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'll probably skip the cushion for the chair and just leave it as is. I mean, when I'm sitting on it, I might want to have like a cushion of some kind on there. So let me know what you think of my new cover for the Papasan chair in my living room. I mean, you could really do this to anything really, even like a cushion that you have on your couch, or even like a duvet cover if you want to go all out and work on a big project. But yeah, I'm really happy that I was able to create a patchwork piece using the scraps that I already had in my stash, and was able to turn it into something that I can use. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, like, share it with a crafty friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.